Hello, everybody. So, there's a lot of people out there who maybe want a solution for something, but aren't really learning any type of programming skills. They just kind of, I just want a solution, and maybe don't really want to know the code, or if they do, they don't want it to be too complex, just kind of make the little changes that they want. So, this video is going to be kind of more a showcase of a bunch of stuff, as you can see from my desktop here, of a bunch of random scripts I've collected that I see a lot of people always kind of interested or asking about. Won't really jump too much in the code, but I'm just going to kind of maybe show some of the things you can change in the code, or if you don't want to, I'll link my website where I have this as a zip file with all the executables in it, along with the actual like scripts. That way, if you want to just launch the program, roll with it, you can. Or if you do want to make some tweaks, you can also. So some of these I probably won't really show much of the code on. Just say, hey, here's the little things you can change, and just show you how the program works. So this is going to be my showcase #1 video for you guys to watch. All right, let's go ahead and minimize me there, and let's jump into the first one. All right, so for this one, I got my recycling bin here. I'm just going to drag a random file in there so that we can see that it has something in it. And I'm going to go ahead and launch empty trash. You get a little message box here just telling you what the hotkey is. That way you don't have to look at the code to memorize it. And that just says press F1 to empty recycling bin. I'm going to go ahead, press F1, and just emptied my recycling bin. And that is all that it is with that code. Let me show you how easy that is. Got a lot open here, so give me a second to find it. There it is. So, yeah, that's literally just the command F1 hotkey file recycle empty. Nothing really you need to change there for you guys. Let's take a look at another one. So this one is called always on top. Pick a window, press F4 to toggle always on top. Always top just means that whatever window you're on when you press this and activate it, it's not going to go behind a window even if it's, something else is your active window. So I'm going to open Chrome here. Got a notepad right here, just make it a little bit more visible there with some random text. Why not? And basically what's going to happen here is, as you see, I can switch between the windows of what's on top. But let's say I want notepad always on top. I'm going to press F1. And now I'm going to click on Chrome, and even though Chrome is my highlighted or active window, this is still going to be visible to me until I go back and push F1 again, and now I'm, back to having no always on top. Don't really need to show the code on there. That's, once again, only like a line of code with nothing really for you guys to customize on that. So I'm not going to put the code in the description below just because you'll be able to download this file and it'll have all the code you see here and executables, which will be in this little showcase 1 zip folder. So next one we got here is recipe list. I just have it called recipes. You can use it for whatever you want. If you want to have like guides, stuff for, video game, whatever. But I'm just going to pretend I'm making a recipe here. But it basically just uses kind of like a tree view here with an edit box over here. So the first thing I got here is tacos. Step 1. I can always right click, say like add ingredient, or you can change that to say like add step, as I did right there. So step 1, we'll just put step 2 there. Then I can just type whatever I want. Do this in step 2. And then I can push save down here and just jump back, step 1, 1 pound of beef and cook it. Step 2, whatever you want here. And, you can delete stuff, add a new recipe, so a completely new one, collapse that. Obviously, like I said, it doesn't have to really be used as a recipe thing. You can just use it as a step guide, maybe for a video game you're creating or some work you do. It's a great learning tool, too, for doing stuff like training someone new or something. You can create a step-by-step guide here. In this box, you can also add pictures, links, what have you. Nothing really to customize there, except for if you want to change maybe the name. But once you do push that save, it does save it as a BAK file on the same location of where the file is. So since I have it on my desktop, it's just going to save it to my desktop. Screen dimmer, you're not really going to be able to see that on my computer actually work, just because of the type of monitor I'm using, and I don't think a recording would really pick that up. But this is just a dimmer that you can adjust to make your screen dimmer, brighter. You know, this is great at night if you just want to dim your screen because you have all the other lights off in your room and you just want it, you know, not so much light going directly at your face. And you can just click down here on this bottom part here to reset it back to what the default was there. Let me go ahead and close that one out. Next, we got the phone book. This is really cool. I actually use this quite a lot at work. It's, you know, basically a phone book. So you can adjust the column size here. And then down here, you can add, you know, information. So you can add, you know, your name or another employee's name, their email address. And the main reason I use this is for the phone number. I actually put people's extensions on here so that I can call them without having to always, you know, look them up in Teams or anything. I have, you know, my main people here that I'm always calling. I have like the IT department's extension on there if I need it. And you can fill out all this information, leave some of it blank, whatever. Birthday. I have no need for that. And just push add to list, and there's all that information up there. With this code, I will show you something. Just in case you don't want to use this as, you know, a phone book, maybe you kind of want to use this almost like a database. I've done that before. So instead of having like last name, first name and stuff in these fields, I might have, you know, computer name, IP address. This is a great thing to use as, you know, some sort of database for your job or, you know, what have you. I definitely would be curious to see what you guys use this outside of, you know, using as a work or address book thing. You know, if you have any type of personal ideas for this, it'd be kind of cool to see. So definitely comment below. Let me know. Where is that one? Phone book. Yeah, here we go. So this code I'll show you real quick in case you do want to change the fields up there. Right here in the GUI, you just got all the things here. So first name, if you want to change that to, you know, IP address or whatever, and all of the things. And you can even delete categories if you don't want that many. Maybe you only need, you know, 5 or something. Once you do that, just make sure you also are changing, you know, the information down here too. Instead of saying insert address, you also want to add, you know, insert whatever. And that's pretty much it for that. The rest of the code you don't really need to change. And like in the last code I showed you, that's just going to save to your desktop or the location of where your phone book is being stored. So as you see, I got that right here. Next up, we got a timer. This one I've seen a ton of requests from people who want to, especially League of Legends, they want some sort of timer going off all the time for them. And that's what this is going to do here. So let me get that up and running. So I got this one also assigned to F1. Yeah, there we go. And this one you can, you know, just change maybe 0 minutes, add, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds. Push start. And the cool thing is the GUI does show you the timeout with the little progression bar there too. And once that hits, not sure if you're going to hear it, but it does do a bunch of system beeps for you. Yeah, so it just goes beep, beep, beep. And you just get a little message box up there just saying time's up. That way, if you're in a game, this menu is behind, you can still see this one at least. Alrighty. Another really popular one we see, and I actually use this one quite a lot at my personal computer, is a Google search. So we'll open up a notepad. So say you're looking at a document, or maybe you're already on another website and you want to look up cats eating food. I don't know. You can highlight the text and just press F1. That's going to automatically do a Google search in your main browser there, Google. And there we go, cats eating food. And you saw how fast that was, even with this minimized. It opened it pretty much instantly and went straight to the results page for that. This is definitely a popular one. No need to show you the code on that because that's only just a few lines of very basic code. Nothing really there for you to change. Well, if you want, I guess you can make it do image searches instead of text searches. But I won't really get into that because I don't think I've ever really seen anybody ask for that before. Now we got on-screen Numpad. This is useful for laptops, or maybe you just have a smaller keyboard that does not have a numpad, and you kind of just want that on your screen. I did do a remapping video where I showed you how to turn your actual main part of your keyboard into a numpad, but maybe you want one visually on your screen. You can do that here. And I mean, this is pretty simple. It's just, a numpad that mimics, whatever a numpad does. So I can, go that way, go left, go right. I can turn numpad on and send 8 instead. So yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think there's any reason you would need to change the code on that, so I'm not going to show that one. Open download folder. Press F1, and all that's going to do is open my downloads folder. Boom. Very simple. I will show you the code on this in case you don't want it to open the downloads folder. Maybe you want it to open something else. Real easy, once again, it's just kind of this one line of code. All you gotta do is put your information in there. So instead of downloads, maybe you want it to open your pictures folder right away just with an F1 key. I mean, if you want to change the hotkey, obviously you just change that here. If you don't really understand what that means, watch one of my first intro videos and I explain a lot about hotkeys and hot strings for you, depending on what you want to do. So, yep. What's up next? Speak to me. I just added this one mostly, I remember back in like middle school, our math class got laptops, and I forget where it was, but somewhere like in the system settings, you could do like text to speech testing, and we used to do silly things, make our computers say like the most ridiculous things and have it say it out loud, and we'd always get in trouble. This is basically the same thing, but it's not in the system settings. It's just a GUI. So you just say, hello, Tab Nation. Not sure if you're going to hear this, but push talk. Yeah, I'm not sure if that got picked up. I think my volume is actually pretty low too, but it just read that text out loud and it cleared the field for me so I can start entering more stuff. And you can make this, even though this edit box here is not super big, you can add a lot more here. This is great for people who are maybe visually impaired, is where I can really see this being used. They could be on a website, copy and paste the information into here and then push talk to have it read out loud to them. Or maybe you just don't feel like reading and you're just kind of like, actually, I could see this being, if you're playing a video game and you want a game guide kind of read to you, you could real quick go to the section you want it to read, paste it, and listen to something being read to you while you're, in another window, maybe playing a video game or something. So such a simple one, but I could see a lot of use out of this one. So I added that on there, plus I had that fun story. At least it was a fun story for me. Always love to get in trouble. Numpad volume control. A lot of keyboards do not have a volume up or volume down or a mute key on them. So if you're in the middle of a game or maybe just doing something, you don't want to have to move your mouse down there, or if you have to Alt-Tab out of your game to get to your volume controls on the desktop, this could be useful. And all this does is turn my numpad keys into, well, the volume up is the plus that one, but I can just push those. I will show you that code just in case you don't want to use those as your main keys. So all you gotta do right here is just change the hotkey. So I got numpad add, sub, and actually I did multiply for the volume mute. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can change these to whatever you want. If you want your volume up to be F1, volume down to be F2, go ahead and change that. All right. Make sure I'm closing all these out so I don't have, 50 scripts running at once. That would definitely maybe cause some problems. All right, future reminder. Spelled that wrong. I'll fix that. So this one, you just press F1. And it just kind of got a little step-by-step thing there. This is just a cool way to give yourself a reminder. So, it's the 29th here. That's fine. Maybe I want to change the time. Let's see if I can do this before the time goes up. So, remember, actually the time just went up, so let's go up another minute. And this date, you can go as far as you want. You can make the date 10 years from now. The only thing to remember is, as of right now, so it just is redisplaying the information you put in there. If you do turn your computer off, you do lose the memo there to remind you. If you guys want it to, really do something, you could always add like some sort of INI file to save that memo. But my feeling here is if you're setting a date that's, more than a day out, you should probably just use like a calendar program or something. This is just kind of the thing that's helpful for making a quick note that you just want to remind yourself of something maybe in like 15, 20 minutes or something. That's what I've used it for. Especially like if I'm cooking food and I'm in the middle of a video game and I can't see my clock on my computer. Just have this pop up in my game saying, hey, go check the food. Make sure it hasn't burnt yet. So hopefully that goes off here soon. I'm going to leave that one running. The next one we got is birthday reminders. Once again, you don't have to use this for birthdays. You can just use this almost as like a calendar program. F1 to bring that up. And so these are just some sample things that came in the program when you first run it for the first time. But these get saved as an INI file that you can see right here. And this is just where you're going to add it. As of right now, there's no way to do it from within this program. You have to do it. There's that reminder there for you. And you can just always set another one. But yeah, with this, you're just going to do settings at the top, which will automatically be there. Number is just how many times you're going to have them there. So if I'm going to add 5 birthday reminders, I just need to make sure I put that 5 in there. And you got grand 1. I guess it's supposed to stand for grandkids. Yeah, grandkids. You can change that to your own verbiage if you want. So yeah, just first, second, last name, and their birthday. And then grandkid 2. And that's just formatted in this where it's 2007 on March 25th there, as you see up here. And it's cool for using as a countdown because then you can see, how old are they or how long time has passed if you're not using birthdays, and then how long until the next thing. You could use this for anniversaries. That's where I could see the use for being. I definitely need that sometimes to remind me of all the different things going on in my life. So yeah. Hello, Tab Nation. It's Tom here today, doing more of a kind of like a showcase type situation here with 2 programs that I think are very helpful. I use them a lot at my job and also for my YouTube channel. A lot of times at work, I have a bunch of templates I have to use, and same with my YouTube channel. When I go to upload a video and I have my description that I have to write out, there's a few lines in there that I like to always add. And originally I was putting these different templates I'm using into separate files, and I have to find the file I want, open it, copy and paste it over. So I figured there had to be a little bit of a better way to do this. So I'm not sure if this is, I'm sure there's other programs around here, but this one's pretty universal. You can use it across, Outlook, YouTube, whatever it is. So yeah, we're gonna showcase you that one first, and then I got another one coming up involving Google Translate that I use quite a bit too. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and run this one. So I have created a folder here. You can call it whatever you want. This is where I put the script. This is also where the contents are going to be saved that you'll see here shortly. So I'm going to push F1. That's my hotkey. Obviously, you can change it to whatever you want. That just opens this GUI right here. So the first thing, before the GUI even like opens, it's actually clearing out that variable list, which is being created down here in these columns here. It's going to loop through that the directory. So I also have that set working directory, which just means just use the file path of where the actual script ran from. So it just makes it easier. Obviously, if you want, you can, specify to have this go to like your documents folder or something different. But I like keeping everything in one spot. So it's going to loop through. It's going to read every file that's in there. Obviously, the only file in there right now is the script. It's going to split up each of those things, looking just for the file number here. And here's where it starts creating that variable list. So it's grabbing all those. It's adding, as you can see, these little brackets here. The reason that is because I'm using a drop-down list down here. So normally the drop-down list would have a kind of like this. So you could be like item 1, and then item 2, and so on and so forth. But I'm using a variable here. So that up here is just kind of creating that for me. Next thing, we're just doing like string replace here. It's getting rid of the 2 brackets to 1. Change 1. This basically is just setting the default item in that drop down. Because normally if I didn't do this, the drop down would be blank starting off, but I figured it'd be kind of nice to just have it on the first template. Because if I'm using the first template, hey, that's one less click I have to do. So I kind of thought was nice. You can always change that up or delete this line if you want. Obviously, I don't want the script name to be in there. I don't want the actual AutoHotkey file, so these 2 lines are just getting rid of that. There's the one with the bracket here at the end and one without. Yeah, just so that doesn't show up. There's no point, obviously, to display my script in there. I only want to see the templates, so yeah. Won't really explain the GUI. I've done plenty of videos on that. But yeah, here's what the GUI looks like. So come in, pick your template. Obviously, I have none, so that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and create a new one. And that's going to happen another GUI here. It starts out with like an example here. I'll probably delete that. There's no point in that. So I can write out my first template here. I'm going to just be like, hello, Mr. And then maybe I want to have a place where I can fill out a blank there. So I'm just going to put that there. How was today on the, maybe I want to put a date here, the 5th or something. Question mark. So obviously my templates are usually going to be a lot longer than this, but we're just going to keep it short and sweet for this one. What do I want to name it? I'm just going to name it test 1 intro. Why not? Yeah, so I'm going to push save. And it takes me back to the main GUI. And now if I go to the drop down, there is my test 1 intro right there. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to push copy to clipboard. And then let's just open up a new thing here. I'm going to do Control V. And there's my script. So it's just a nice fast way to do that. And then I can add more. Or if I want to edit, maybe I change my mind. I want to change this up a little bit. Or I want to delete it. And push that. Find the one I want to edit or delete. Push load. So it loads up that. And then I can push delete, which will just delete it. Or I can edit it. Let's say, let's add another line. Call me back now or else. So yeah, looks good. I'm going to go ahead and push save. Copy to clipboard. Let's go ahead and delete that and push Control V. And there's my new script. And so, like I said, it was all being saved into that file. So there's the test 1 intro there. And you can add as many as you want. I use this a lot. I just kind of made it. This is my first version. So if you guys have any recommendations on something I can improve on this, add to it, maybe clean it up somehow, definitely let me know. I'm going to include this code in the description below, but I'm also going to include a link to the executable. That way, if anybody just kind of wants to download this real quick and start using it, I'll just throw it on my Google Drive, and hopefully you can access it if you're using it for work. You know, I know ID can be a little tricky on that kind of stuff. Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is a Google Translate script that I did. Where did I put that? There it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and find something in another language. So I'm going to open Google Translate and just grab some text here real quick. And while I do that, just want to let you guys know you should definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm showing you guys lots of stuff that automates your video games, your job, or just your life and personal. So yeah, let's see, what do I want to say? Bear with me here a second. That should be good enough. And obviously we don't want to go back to English. We want to go to, I don't know. What's one I recognize here? Irish? Don't Irish? Chinese? I'm not sure how that would work. Let's use Turkish. Alright. So now we got some Turkish language there. Let's post that into a notepad. Sorry if my typing's a little off here. It's kind of hard to see my keyboard with my microphone in the way. Alright, so there's our Turkish language there. So this one, I'm not going to really run through this because this one's pretty complicated. There's a lot going on here, and this is more of a showcase, but as you see, there's about 113 lines. The cool thing here is you're blending in not just AutoHotkeys, but you're doing, you can see some other stuff here. You got some JSON going on. You know, it's connecting to the API through Google Translate's API. If anything goes wrong, let me know, because every time they update it, sometimes this can get a little wonky. But just a heads up too, if you are not translating English, maybe you're watching this in another language and you want to translate from your nationality to, you know, whatever, that is adjustable in the code. Where is that? Right here. So from auto to English. So I'm translating to English. Obviously, if you're translating to something else, you're just going to translate right here, or change that to whatever the abbreviations in Google Translate are. So EN is English. I'll try to find a list of all those, and I can link those in the description below. Hopefully I find that. Let's go ahead and try that. Google Translate. No, it's on here somewhere. There it is. I got too many scripts. All right. The other thing I forgot to mention is my hotkey here I'm using is also F1. It's just kind of clearing out my clipboard just to be safe. Control C, so I'm going to highlight that text. It's going to copy it. It's going to sleep real quick, both here and there. That's just kind of a way to give it a few seconds to for the system to do its thing. Because connecting to Google Translate can take a few seconds. So if your internet's really crappy, you might need to go a little higher than 3 seconds here, or 300 milliseconds. You might need to change it a little higher. And it's going to basically jump down here, do that like next 100 lines of code, jump back up here where it's going to display GUI with my information. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we're going to go ahead and highlight the language here. I'm going to push F1. Takes about 3 seconds, like I said. And there we go. We got this little GUI that popped up, and there is my translated text into English. Now, obviously, if you want to really take this a step farther, obviously I only speak English, so I don't really have a need to constantly switch between different languages that I'm translating to. But if you are, you could always add some sort of maybe input box up here that's asking you what language are you trying to translate to. You put in in, push enter, and then down here you can just put a variable instead of having it like hard coded there. So if you need to make that change, definitely do that. Alright guys, if you had any questions about the Google Translate one, definitely let me know and I'll try to help you out. Alright guys, see you on the next one. Hey Tab Nation, once again, it's your boy Tom. And today, some of my most popular videos are showcase videos. I've done a few where I've done like script mime, maybe 1 or 2 applications, but we're going to do 6 here today. And all these applications, or scripts I guess you say, I actually got from Script Mime. If you haven't seen the video explaining what this is exactly, I'll put that in the description below, linking to that video. But it's a very great website. You should definitely check it out, or at least check that video out. So all my scripts are from here. I will obviously link every single script that I talk about in the description below, so you can find it very easily. Alright, let's jump into it. So the first script we're going to be talking about, I just got it named testing on my desktop for some odd reason, but we'll call it the window watcher. Let's call it that. Why not? Basically what it does here is, I'm not really going to go through a lot of the code, just kind of point out stuff that maybe you should change or want to change to kind of match what you want. This is a very simple script. I see this being asked a lot where people are kind of wanting a program to watch if their kids are opening like Minecraft or something and give them some type of warning, or even if they're just trying to be productive to prevent them from being able to, as a reminder to not do it. So on here, you're just going to do 10 seconds, what I got it set at. Just doing a check every 10 seconds. You can change it to whatever. And it's seeing if YouTube is open. If it is, it's going to do a sound beep 3 times, which just goes over my speakers. You can change this code to send you a text message if you're watching your kids, automatically close the window or give you a message box, whatever you want. I'm just going to do a sound beep for the testing of this video. So nothing too fancy here. Let's go ahead and run that. I do not have YouTube open at the moment. Let's go ahead, open it in browser here. Wait about 10 seconds, make sure it doesn't go off or anything. So obviously I don't have YouTube open, which I guess you can't see, but there we go. Let's go ahead and open YouTube. I'm not sure if you're going to hear this, but I'll be quiet. There we go. Hopefully you heard at least something there, and it went ahead and closed it out for me. So that's really all there is to that one, but I see people asking that a lot. Alright, on to the next one. And that is going to be another simple script, but very helpful, especially in the workplace, and that is insert date. Let's pull that code up here real quick, just so you can get a glance at it. Very simple code here, so nothing too crazy. It's using a hot string. You can change this to a hotkey if you want. Basically, if you type in, whatever, it's going to go ahead and replace it with date. I'm going to leave it just how it was. I kind of think that's a great way to do it. Let me open Notepad here. Let me fix that a little bit better size. So basically I can, well, I should probably run the script first. That makes a lot of sense. Let's close out the old one. Alright, and I'm just going to start typing. Today is the, and then I'm going to hit little bracket thing and D, and voila. It went ahead and put the date and the time in there. If you don't want the time, all you got to do is delete this little chunk of code right here. And if you're in another country and this format doesn't work for you, just change it up. Super easy, super awesome script, especially if you're going to be writing a lot of emails. All right, that is it for the second one. Let's take a look at the next one. And that is going to be sticky notes. And let's go ahead and launch that one. And basically it's just a note keeping thing. So we'll say, note one. How are things? Make sure to do this stuff. So maybe we're making a to-do list. 1, eat. 2, sleep. 3, repeat. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to save that. We're good. I should probably change the name. I don't want it to be called Untitled. So let's call it to do. Simple enough. Save. And then let's make a new one. We'll go here. This is note 2. And, website 1. Maybe I'm making a list of websites that I use a lot and I need to remember how to get to them. So I can put like the URLs here or something. Let's name it URLs. Go ahead and save all that. Obviously I can delete notes too. Not sure what these two things do here. Let's find out. They're kind of in a little bit of gibberish there. I guess that's just kind of where you're putting stuff. Oh, okay, so this one's settings. I guess you can change like the color, the text color, automatic text, show on startup, a whole bunch of stuff. Ooh, dark mode. Oh, you can add a password. Don't forget your password. That'd probably be bad. So I'm pushing apply. There might be some problems with this one. I haven't actually had too much chance to play with it. What if I close it and relaunch it? Well, anyway, there's my notes. They're still there. Everything's good. This is a great way, you can just keep in there, adding more and more notes, and then eventually it's going to break into 2 rows, and so on. So this is really cool. There's a few things I would change on here. I'm going to try to figure out why these are showing weird characters. I'll try to fix that before connecting them, and then I also think it would be nice to be able to have this as a resizable window. I'll put a comment on script mime, see if he's up to do that. If not, I'll fix them. Alrighty. Let's take a look at the next one, which is folder switch menu. This one's pretty cool. Very useful, especially when I'm doing videos. Or just editing in general. Both are pretty good. But, yeah, let's open a bunch of folders here real quick for the demo. I'll open... Oh, I guess I need to push... Let's just push Control New. We'll go to Pictures. There's some interesting pictures I took on the scanner with our faces, just for the fun of it. And we'll open Documents. So here you go. I got a few things going on here. I'm on here. I want to switch, between whatever. What was that? Documents and Pictures. You're going to push F3. You can obviously change that hotkey to whatever you want. And it's going to display all the different things that I have open. So I can quickly switch to Documents. And it's going to bring me back. So I can go ahead and close all these. I don't need them. What's this? Not sure what happened there. What did happen there? Uh-oh. Looks like we ran into a bug. Yeah, so we got File Explorer. Let's open a few more. Let's try that again. There we go. So we're going to do, I don't know, captures. We'll go to live. But yeah. So basically, it just kind of keeps track of file explorers that I've been on as an easy way to kind of switch back between them. So now I can go back to the relive one. There it is. So yeah, it's a fast way to switch between them. It's definitely helpful when you're doing a lot of editing, constantly going through folders to find whatnot. If you find any bugs like I just did there, definitely hit up the creator on ScriptMime. I'll have all that stuff, like I said, linked in the description below. Just let them know. Hopefully they can get it fixed. If not, I'll fix it for you. Now, the next 2 are definitely the ones I've been using quite a bit. The other ones are cool. I don't really have much of a need for them. Hopefully you do, though. But these 2 I use a lot. I'm constantly switching between applications, windows, whatnot, and I use like the Alt-Tab thing here, which is kind of annoying, honestly. I don't like doing that. I wanted something a little bit more simple, so this kind of solves that problem. Let's go ahead and do toggle last window. And let's see, let's open Chrome window and Notepad. So it's pretty simple. All I'm going to do is click down on my mouse button and it just switches between whatever the last one was. It's basically Alt-Tab, but like way more convenient because I don't need my other hand, and I don't have to push 2 buttons and have like that whole like display thing pop up, whatever you want to call it. This is definitely my favorite. I use this a lot in gaming too. But yeah. Whee! Definitely one of my favorites, for sure. And the next one, I use this a lot for recording, or I will be, as I just got it. and that's hide desktop icons. So let's take a look at that one. And I figured out how to trigger that one, so let's take a look here. F12, that's right. So, see all the icons on my desk? Now you don't. All it does is hide them. You know, let's throw a few more in there. Let's throw some of my game icons in there too. Oh, I love this one. I mean, it just makes my desktop look so clean. And then it's back. Oh, I love this. I didn't even know this was possible, honestly, with AutoHotkey. So those last two are definitely my favorite. I'm going to use them a lot in gaming and just in recording these videos. Now, definitely hit that subscribe button. I have tons more videos coming out every week, teaching you anything having to do with AutoHotkeys, mostly with automation in mind. And if you guys have any recommendations on scripts I should use in another showcase coming up, definitely link those in the description below, or just shoot me an email, which is in my channel's description. I'd be happy to throw those on there and give you guys credit for whoever created them. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you find these scripts very helpful. Definitely smash that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Hello Tab Nation! Today we're going to be doing another showcase because I know you guys love that. Of course, with any showcase, that means I'm not really going to be covering much code. I'm just going to kind of show you how the stuff works. That way you can just grab it, manipulate it how you want. A lot of the code I've already covered in a lot of other videos, but if you do have a question, definitely hit me up in the comments below. Today we got 5 scripts coming at you, so let's jump into that. Well, not the code, but just jump into the video, I guess. Alrighty then, shall we get started? So the first one is actually a script I made myself just for fun of it. If you're ever on Facebook AHK or Reddit, subreddit AHK, you know, like, some of the posts are pretty bad. The people don't even try. They demand you do something. They give you no information. So I made this rating system. So here's the code. It's only like 73 lines of code. Nothing really you need to manipulate. But if you do have any recommendations on how I could expand this, I definitely would love to see that. So let's give an example here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get an error here. Why is that? Did I not comment out something? I did not. There we go. Forgot to comment that first line out there. And I'll put a link in the description below, obviously, to all these scripts for you. And most of them, I believe, are from ScriptMine, except for one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and press F1. I'm going to get this GUI here. It's basically just asking me some questions about whatever post I'm looking at. And we're going to give them a grade. You know, did they demand a comment? Did they say, I need a comment? Did they include any code? Did they thank you? Did they give you actually the info you really needed? You know, hey, I need these steps. Step 1, press this button. Step 2, move over here and close this window kind of thing. Did they read the rules of the posting? Obviously, that's a big one where people don't really post their code correctly, or just, you know, they try to ask for PvP rule, you know, that's against the rule, that kind of stuff. And did they tell us the steps that they have already tried, showing that they actually did try versus just, hey, make me a script. So we'll just click one. We'll say, hey, they're maybe not a demand. They said I need. They didn't include any code, but they did thank us. They gave us the info. They didn't read the rules. Obviously, it's not formatted correctly, but they did tell us the steps that they already took. We at least kind of know they might have tried. So we're now going to go ahead, push score now, and this little edit box is going to go, this post scored a 71%. So not a great grade, but I've seen worse where people give you no information. They just demand and say, I need. And that would obviously score pretty low, like a, you know, well, let's say they thank you or something. That would score pretty low at a 28%. That's pretty bad. So this is just something I made for fun. You know, if you guys have any recommendations on how to expand what should be in a post versus not how you ask one, definitely let me know in the comments below. Like I said, this one was just kind of more of a fun thing to do. Hopefully you find it useful and can use it sometime. I would love to see someone actually rate a post if it was bad. See how the OP really reacts to it. Alright, let me close that script down. Alright, we're going to open the capture part of screen. Now there is one part of code I do need to show you on here. You do need to download a video, or not a video, another like AHK library, and you're just going to need to put the file path of where it is here. I just put it on my desktop. It's called gdip underscore all.ahk. This will be blank when you get the code, like it'll look like that. You just need to add the file path of where that library is being stored. You know, pretty simple. That's the only code you really should need to try or mess with, but let's go ahead and launch that. So let's say I want to take a snapshot of my Tab Nation here, or actually let's do code. So I'm going to highlight the code, and it's going to automatically just follow my mouse around. This is useful if you're on like an AutoHotkey site and you need to see the syntax and then type your code, and you're like, oh, what was that syntax again? And you're like jumping back and forth. This is a great way just to have like an image follow you of information. So now I could go to like another script and I can like sit there and see like what I did in the last script. This is really cool. If you want to save it, you can just push Control S, or sorry, I think it's Alt S. Let's see. Yeah, okay. And then we'll just name it test. So it is Control S. And hold on. Oh, where'd it go? Still trying to figure this one out. Yeah, but Control S should save it. For some reason it did save temporarily, but then disappeared. I'll look into the code there a little deeper to see. But this is mostly, I use this a lot just for this follow mouse image, for jumping back between code so that I can just remember the information I need without, you know, because a lot of times I forget. I'm like, oh, I got to go back to Chrome and Alt Tab over. So it's really useful. And then you just press F1 to get rid of it. So I found that one useful for coding especially. Next up is spell check. Spell check is just spell check. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, you know, most programs have spell check built into them. That is correct. But I have ran into, sometimes when I'm filling out like a form or something, I know at my previous job, when we would fill out like these reviews, they didn't have spell check in them at all. So that was kind of annoying. I had to do everything in Word first and then copy and paste it over. So this is kind of when you reach a scenario where there is no spell check. So let's say I'm going to misspell the word chat. I'm going to spell it C-A-H-T. And when I go to spell, push spacebar or enter or whatever, it automatically fixes it to chat. And there is a insane amount of words that the person who created this, you know, put a lot of effort into this. I mean, look at this. It starts at, let's see where it starts. Whew. Starts, I guess around here, yeah, like word endings and stuff. Yeah, so it starts like close to line 200, and then it goes almost to line 5,300. So it has a lot. But if you want, you can just add your own, you know, just in the same format as here. These are called hot strings. I did a video about them if you don't really understand what this is. You're just putting the misspelled word here with the correct one here. So you can add as many as you want, but I mean, there's a insane amount already in there, so it's awesome. And yeah, I like that. I'm a horrible speller, so it's nice to have a spell check in those areas where a spell check just is not provided. All right, let's close that. View hidden files. I find this very useful because a lot of times I forget how to do this. And whenever I'm modding something like Minecraft or I need to get to a save file, a lot of those files are hidden, especially in like app data. So let's go ahead and launch that one. Let's just, okay, this should be fine. So this is my hard drive. You know, these are the files that are normally visible to the average user. Everybody can see them. But there are hidden files here that are just, you know, invisible. Let's say I need to see them. I'm just going to press F1. And it sometimes takes a few seconds to load. But as you see now, there's a lot more. And they're the ones that are kind of grayed out a little bit. So there's program data that's normally not visible. So I can go in there and now see all that stuff that I need. And then, you know, once I'm done, I want to clean this up. I only want to see what I need normally. I'm just going to press F1 again. Takes a few seconds, and there it disappears. So that one's really cool, just because a lot of times I forget how to unhide them myself and I have to Google it from time to time. So I really like that one. Give me a second to close that one out. What was the last one? Yes. I've seen this asked a few times. I actually just helped someone out with this one today. So I thought it was very useful. It took me a second to really get this figured out. But sometimes you have a need where, you know, you want to move your mouse directly across the X or the Y axis. Human, that's really hard to do, honestly. I can see this being useful in like video games or in like Photoshop or something where you need to draw a straight line and it's hard to do. This helps out a lot. It's pretty cool. So we'll run that. So right here, you can see my mouse is, you know, kind of all over the place here. It's kind of hard to see my mouse. I just realized that. Let me open Notepad. It might make it a little bit easier since I'm not in dark mode there. There we go. Yeah, now you can see my mouse a little better. So I'm gonna go ahead, you know, I'm moving my mouse all around. Let's say I want to draw a straight line, you know, here, and push F12. And now my mouse is locked. I'm trying to move it. You can't really see, but I'm trying to move it to the left, now to the right. It won't let me. I'm locked. Just up and down, really cool. Press F12 again. Now I'm free. Now if we want to do the other one, F11. See, back and forth. See, I'm trying to go up, trying to go down. I can't. So this is really cool. I like that a lot. So, and then once you're done, you can just push F1 to exit. Oh, double tapped it there so it opened the new window. F1. Now, obviously, you can change these hotkeys to whatever you want. If you don't like F12, F11, and F1, change them whatever you want. I definitely could see somebody, you know, doing like one of your extra mouse buttons for these would probably be the best place to use the hotkey for. And if you don't know how to find out what the buttons, you know, called in this in AHK, I did do a video on how to get that information, and I'll link that in the description below also, just in case you do use this program and you want to use one of your mouse keys or a joystick or something. All right. I love doing these videos. Apparently you guys love it when I do them. So if you have a script that you think should be used that I haven't done in one of my showcases yet, definitely hit me up in the comments below. You know, let me know if it's your script or just someone else's that you use, and maybe on the next one I will throw it in there and other people will find it useful. And if you're not part of the nation, definitely hit that subscribe button, that like button, because it helps me out, and that notification because I'm throwing, you know, 1 or 2 videos every week at you. Also, check out my community tab that I now have. I ask questions on there. I recently just asked a question of like, what kind of videos do you guys want to see next? So I definitely would like to see some responses there. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Hello Tab Nation, it's Tom, and today we're going to be doing number 5 showcase. So got a few scripts here. I'm not going to really run through them. That's in showcases. I'm just kind of showing you this code real quick, if there's anything you need to change. But I'll have videos on like if you want to actually manipulate a lot better. So let's jump into the first one. The first one is actually one I'm working on right now. I just call it Weather Desktop. And it basically just changes my background to match what the weather is outside. I just thought it was kind of a fun thing to do. I used to use it a lot on my work computer, but I still use it at home from time to time. So basically what it's doing is it's checking this weather website, it's getting the information, it's finding out what's the weather for that day. For now, I just am going to change the variable here to equal cloudy, just because I have that ready to go. I don't have all the weather in here. I have cloudy, partly cloudy, rain, sunny, and that's it. You know, I definitely plan to add on to this with like snow, thunderstorms, all that kind of stuff. But you can go ahead. All you got to do is copy and paste this, change it to equals whatever weather. And then at the end down here, you're just going to put whatever picture you want. So I'm not really going to upload the pictures to YouTube. Can't really do that. So all you got to do really is, so right now it's going to your desktop right here. So it's going to weather desktop, wallpapers, and then whatever you want it called. So if you just want to call it what I already have, sunny PNG, you're just going to have this weather desktop. And the first time you run this, a lot of these folders will get created. So you're just going to throw the script inside the folder. And then here's where you're going to put your different things. I also have in here one called master. And that's basically if there's some weather that isn't in the code, it'll just change it to that instead. So yeah. And then just in your zip code text file here, all you gotta do is type your zip code right there, and that is it. So yeah, let's go ahead and run that. So let me get to my desktop. Here's my desktop. I'll put this over here. I'm gonna go ahead and run it. Here. And there we go. It changed it to cloudy. And it's gonna check, what was it? It checks every so often. Can't remember what it is. Give me a second here. Where did I put the timer? There's a timer in here. I think it's every 15 minutes it checks what the weather is. And then, yeah, here we go. So whatever that equals. I think it's 15 minutes or maybe it's an hour. But yeah, you can change this however often you want it to check. And this is going to be in milliseconds. But I definitely plan to expand outside just these 4 little weather things that I have. So that is that one. Up next we have Pages, currently in version 1.2. I have been actually talking to the guy. He's slowly updating it, making improvements. So like with any of these scripts, if you have an idea for an improvement or something that should probably be done differently, definitely let us know in the comments below. It definitely helps getting feedback so that we can improve these scripts and make them more user-friendly. So Pages 1.2 is just basically it's a note-taking thing. So here we got, we're on page 1. I can type in page 1 test for YouTube. If I can type. As always, it's hard to see my keyboard because my mic's in the way. And then we got that, so we can actually make it a favorite if we want. And we can just be like, put it, here. So now page 1 is one of my favorites. We can then, plus and minus to kind of jump around. There we are, page 2. And it tells you right here what just happened for a few seconds, which is nice. Page 3, let's type on page 3. Page 3 test for YouTube. I am Tom. Update. So you update that. Now, wait. And then we'll go back to page 1. Now, I did forget to push update for that one. So there we go. I just updated it. Update's basically save. But yeah, see, we can go back to page 3. There's my stuff. I can clear it out. I can copy it, which sends it to the clipboard. If you want help and you're not understanding something here, there's a little checkbox here. And this is new in this version. It's really nice. You hover over stuff, the different things, and it tells you what they are. And this is really cool. I thought this was a clever way to do a help page. So yeah, there's that. And then you can jump to pages a lot quicker too, versus, plus and minus, like turning. So I can just type in 1, say turn 2, and there we go. And I think this goes up to like 999 pages that you can do. So yeah, this is a really cool note-taking system, very clean cut and everything. Once again, if you have any recommendations, let us know in the comments below. And let's go on to the next one. So this is just Snake written AutoHotkeys, and it basically plays on your desktop. I thought this was, obviously it's not more of a useful script, it's more of a fun script, but I could see myself like kind of just being at work and sneaking this onto the computer to play. So let's run that. So you start out with this little GUI box here. A few little settings that you can change here. The tick rate, snake height, all that. We'll just leave it at the defaults. And it's going to use your AWSD keys to move around. So let's just go ahead and jump in and play that. Now, you're not seeing my full desktop, so I might cut out a little bit here and there. But there's the little red snake. Oh, sorry. It actually uses the arrow keys. I guess I was wrong there. So, yeah. Very cool classic put into AutoHotkeys. Obviously not great at this. Play this for a few seconds and then kill myself. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and run into myself, and there we go. Game over. That one is just a lot of fun. I love playing that and seeing how far I can get, because it's really cool that it plays like on your desktop. That one was really cool. I think it's using a GUI with the transparent background is really what it's doing, and just measuring out your screen. Alrighty, let's move on to another one. So I don't use them very often, but using like trees in your code can be very useful. I've done it before, and honestly, the big reason I stay away from them is because they can be kind of a pain to, like, once you code it, edit them and all that. So this comes from a girl on Reddit that I was talking to also that created this, and she's also looking for, you know, any feedback you guys have, and this has been very helpful. It's probably going to make me want to use trees a little bit more often. So this is the current version. Obviously, she's probably making updates to it from time to time. You know, everything's going to be credited down below, just because I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. You can just be like, I don't know, tacos. Or no, let's do food. So we can add a branch. Then we can, you know, go to this one. We can add a child. We can be like, food, types of food, tacos. Add child. Let's add another one. Pizza. Add child. And then from there, you can also go in here and say tacos. Well, what kind? Beef. Add child. Now, technically, this wouldn't be considered a grandchild. But same, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, what else is there? Fish tacos. Disgusting, in my opinion. And it literally shows it to you live of what it's going to look like. You can then, you know, edit something if you misspelled something. You can delete it if you change your mind. And then copy is actually going to show you the code and then throw it into your clipboard. So you can just throw it into, you know, whatever IDE you're using to code. And then, you know, reset is just going to start all over. This is amazing. I mean, I've always hated using tree views, but this will make me actually probably use them from time to time, depending on the program I'm designing. So I really like this. This is really clean looking, and I hope you guys find it very useful. I mean, it took making a tree view, you know, from 15 minutes down to like a minute, you know, depending on how big you're making it and stuff, but it's a huge time saver. It's great. All right, and our final one today is this one, Joe DF's Quick Color GUI. So not much to talk about. A lot of the codes has been done very clean, very organized, lots of comments. I was very impressed with this. So yeah, let's take a look at what this does exactly. So a lot of times you might be using like pixel searches and stuff. This really helps to, you know, find like a color that you're looking for. So we can sit here and change it up. And it's literally just, let's see. I like that. It's like a teal kind of color. You just say copy to clipboard, and it's going to give you that information right there. Let me put it in Notepad++ so it's a little easier to see what it copied. So it just gives you the code right there. That way, if you need a pixel search or something, this is an easy way to kind of do that. Or another way, or if you want to color your GUIs, is probably where I guess where I would see it being used the most, is people wanting to figure out what that color is and then make their, you know, GUI background or whatever that color. All right. If you guys have a script that you found useful that I haven't covered yet, whether you made it or you just found it on the internet and use it a lot, definitely send me like a link to it, or, you know, hit me up on Discord. It's in my channel information. I'm happy to share like anybody's script. You know, a lot of people sometimes want a quick answer. They don't really want to spend there and, you know, code 400 lines of code when somebody's already done it. You know, why reinvent the wheel? So these videos are meant to just be kind of like, here's what it does, use it if you want. share any video or scripts that you guys have. If you have any questions about any of these or want me to kind of cover them a little bit better, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe. And we'll jump on to our last one. If you've noticed that my camera has cut out, I'm having some issues and I don't feel like restarting, so I'm just going to do audio only on this one. So this one is called Joe DF's Quick Color GUI. We'll launch that. It automatically jumps into a GUI here, and basically you just got 3 dials here, red, green, blue, and you kind of just play around with the colors until you get what you want. Let's see. I can kind of get towards the Tab Nation color there. That's close enough. You can also set the values here too if you want. Push the arrow keys to go up and down slower. And this is really good for just finding a color code for a GUI you're creating. So you can push copy to clipboard. We'll get a message box here. It shows us the RGB that we had and the hex number. So we'll just throw that into a notepad so you can see what it got. And there's that color code for that. That way, if you want to change the GUI's background color, you can do that. You can also use it probably for other things like website creation and whatnot. But I found that very helpful when trying to find a color that I want for my background. All right. If you guys had any questions about any of the stuff I showed you, or have recommendations on how to improve it, definitely let me know in the comments below. I know some of the creators are going to be actually watching the comments just to see if you guys have any good recommendations that they might want to try out. So if you haven't subscribed, definitely do that, because I have videos coming out all the time teaching you automation, specifically on AutoHotkeys, but sometimes I do branch out. Alright guys, see ya! Hello Tab Nation! Welcome back to one of your favorite videos, for the most part, is a showcase where I'm not really going to run through much of the code, just kind of a brief overview and how this program's used. It's just a way to throw out some scripts out there that you might find useful, but I've done videos for the most part showing you all the different things that are inside these scripts, so I'm not here to go through all of them. You can always watch those videos. This is a showcase video, and today I'm pulling from this website, computeredge.com. This guy's great. As you see, this is a list of kind of everything on this page that he has. I've done a video on the past on some of these scripts that different various people have made. I'll put a link to this obviously in the description so you come here and get the actual script. So yeah, we're going to show you a few of the different ones, starting with a really cool one that I like called Easy Command Prompt by Rajat, if that's how you pronounce it. I don't know, R-A-J-A-T. But this is really cool. So we know command prompt, you can go in, enter some type of command, spits out information or does something, but you have to open command prompt every time. The cool thing about this is it actually adds the ability of being able to enter those commands from your Explorer window. So let me go ahead, find that one and run that. Alright, looks like it's up and running. So now I'm going to open a new Explorer window. So right here we go. And the cool thing is what you do is up here where you have like your file path, you can actually type it there. So if you do a single slash like that and type it out, we're going to use ping, I guess, for the example in this one. It'll run it in the background, but if you want to visually see it, you can do double slashes and then write ping, for example, whatever you're doing. 1 slash runs it in the background so you don't even see it. 2 lets it actually what we're going to see just for the sake of this video. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to push enter on that, and boom, it automatically opens the command prompt. And as you can see, it went ahead and wrote the ping thing here, and just spit out whatever command I wanted to perform. This is just really cool because honestly, opening this versus command prompt, it's slightly faster, and a lot of times I might be somewhere, and yeah, it's just really nice. So yeah, like I said, check those out. This one's called Easy Command Prompt. We're going to look at the next one, Screen Dimmer. This is another one I think people will find very useful. There's a lot of DLL calls in here. Like I said, I've done videos on that, GUI videos. So if you want to adjust this anyway, just check those videos out and you'll be good. Let me find that one. Where did I put that one? Sorry, I have a lot of scripts for this video. Here we go. Screen dimmer. So it's a pretty simple GUI. It pops up. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see this happening because I'm using OBS. So you're not going to see what's happening, but it takes the default brightness, which on my screen is 128. And yeah, and you just go dimmer or you go brighter. I mean, that's pretty simple as it is. Like I said, it doesn't look like it's showing up on OBS, my recording software, which is fine. And then also just a warning, doesn't always work on all monitors. It just depends on your monitor settings if it's able to do that. It works very well, I find, on laptops, but when it comes to, like, I'm using a lot of times like TV monitors instead, it doesn't always work very well. And then if you want to reset because you can't remember what the default setting is, you just click on this bar down here, like it says, check status bar to reset, or click, sorry. And you just click it and boom, it just went back to the default. So that one's pretty simple, but can be very useful. You know, night mode, all that kind of stuff. You don't always exactly have the ability to adjust the brightness as well. A lot of monitors you have to like go into the settings and whatnot. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So this one is, what do we call this one? Transparent windows. This is kind of cool for looking behind windows without actually having to minimize them and then maximize them again. It's basically just changing the main part of the window to transparency, but it keeps the bar like at top, so we'll see that here. This is done by Jack Dunning, so thanks to him. And also, these are all, for the most part, seem to be on his website in version 1. I've done a video about how to convert version 1 to version 2 scripts, so check that out. Like I said, I'm not trying to go over every little thing going on here. So let's launch this one. What did I call this? Transparent windows. Make sure it's running. Nope. Come on. There we go. Must not clicked it. So this one is going to be using the control and the left button. That obviously you can adjust to however you want if you don't like that combo. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to hold down control and click my left key on my mouse. That's grabbing the current Windows information. Now I'm going to do control wheel up. And as you can see, I can change the transparency, which is super cool. There was also, yeah, control wheel down. That kind of, you know, brings it back. But yeah, this is just a quick way to kind of change the transparency. This is kind of useful, I see, in like gaming. You know, if I'm playing a game, but I kind of want to see something without it fully taking over that piece of the section of the screen, this is really useful. But this is just a way to very easily adjust the transparency of whatever is your currently active window. So that one's pretty straightforward. Now, kind of building off of that one, we have this one called rollup. Windows rollup. This kind of does a lot of the same thing where it's letting you see behind the window. Once again, you got some stuff like Control Z that's going to let you see your hotkey. So right there, line 25, change it to whatever you want. Let's launch that. Alright. So let me, yeah, okay, we're in good. I'm going to push Control Z. And as you see, it's almost like minimizing, but it's not, because look, the bar is still here. So we'll do that again, Control Z. Let's look at it in Chrome, why not? So here's Chrome. I can go do Control Z. And as you see, the bar is still there, but the main part of the window is gone, so I can see behind. So I can just real quick, oh, I'm doing something. Oh, I forget the syntax. Let me look. Oh, okay, that's the syntax. Back to what I was doing. This is just such a nice, smooth way, but compared to like minimizing, maximizing every time, because I don't have to move my mouse or anything. I mean, you can have AutoHotkey does do that. I'm pretty sure I did a video about that also. But yeah, this one's probably my favorite so far. This one I find super useful for just real quick I mean, look at that. I can even do multiple windows, so I can easily see stuff and bring it back. So I really liked this one. Yeah, check that one out. Like I said, really all you're going to need to change is the Control Z to whatever you want, F1, you know, whatever. Alright, I hope you guys enjoy all of those. Let me know in the comments below if you guys know of any scripts out there that I maybe haven't done a showcase for, or maybe you have one. If you go to my main page on the channel, there's a info thing. I forget what it's called. It's like the last tab, but it has my email in there and also my Discord. If you guys want to send me a script, just let me know what is its purpose, how do I use it, and then obviously the script. Don't send an executable, only a script. And maybe you'll see it pop up in a future showcase video if this video gets 50 likes, just because this is one of my more popular. I usually say 30, but we're going to go with 50. Just because I know we can get that. I'll follow up with more showcase because they tend to be very popular. Alright everybody, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Pretty much my normal right now is every Saturday I'm trying to release a video around 10 o'clock EST time. That's East Coast US. So yeah, but sometimes I throw out more videos in a week. Just depends on how I'm feeling. And I will see you all on the next showcase video. Enjoy. Alright, we're going to be taking a look today at some more showcase stuff. You guys tend to love this. If this video gets 50 plus views, or sorry, not views, likes, I will do another one. And if you guys have a script, whether it's yours, someone else's, that you want to share that you think others will find useful, definitely hit me up at my About tab on my main page channel. It has my email, Discord. If you email me, just let me know what the script is, a link to where you got it from, and just a quick explanation of it so I understand fully how to use it, and hopefully you'll see it in a future video. Alright, today we're doing some more from this website like in the previous one, just because there's so many on here that are amazing. This is computeredge.com. Link is going to be in the description, and just find the name of whatever I tell you in that part of the video and just click and you'll be able to find a quick explanation also, but the download being the main one. Most of these, they have a zip file or just the AHK file. I think some of them you might have an executable, but you should always download a script just to be safe, because hey, some website you don't know. You should never download an executable directly. So this one doesn't have a hotkey, but if you want, you can assign a hotkey up here just by doing like F1. And then that way, every time you push F1, it's just going to reload and open the GUI for you. But we're just going to keep it like this. So this one is just called the How Long Away calendar. And so I'm going to launch that if I can find it. I got a lot on here. There we go. Let me... So yeah, it's pretty much just a simple GUI. Obviously, if you want to make it fancier, go for it. But all you're going to do really is it automatically grabs your system time or date. So it's Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. You can obviously change it. Enter date 2. It's going to start with today's date 2, but you know, hey, I'm planning something. I need to know how many days it's going to be. So let's say April 11th this year. I need to know exactly how many days that is. All you do is push calculate. Get a little pop-up here. Years, 0 years, but it is a month and 21 days away. So this is great for planning stuff versus having to manually use like a calendar and, you know, count out the weeks and then the days. So this is really cool. Now, obviously, it's only doing years, months, and days. If you do want to put the weeks in there, it's pretty simple. All you really got to do is go in there and just add kind of like your own like if from today, years, months, days. So you just need to add like the weeks, and that's pretty simple in the calculator stuff. I've done videos on that, so just check out like I think it's something about math and AutoHotkeys. That would help you figure out how to do that. So yeah, you can always add the weeks to it, because right now all it does is have the days. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very simple. I find this very useful. You know, today's the 21st, but if I push the 1st and say calculate, it will also go back in time, and you can see like, oh, that was 20 days ago versus looking at the future. So you can look at the past and the present, which is very helpful. All right, let's move on to our next showcase. All right, this one is basically it's a spell checker. This can be useful for if you're typing in a program that doesn't by default have a spell checker. I'm going to use the ID here, Notepad++. I don't think it has a built-in spell checker. I'm sure you can get an add-on. It has syntax correction, but that's not really the same thing. So let's launch that. Where did I put that? Oh, I just named it test3. Not a good name for a HK file. All right, so that's up and running. This script is pretty long. As you can see, it's over 5,000, but most of that is basically hotkeys, as you can see, with the different like common misspellings. So the cool thing is you can always add. It is in alphabetical order, but if you want, you can always go to the end and, you know, say like one's added. Anything below this point was added by the user. So yeah. Yeah, let's try that out. So it also does capitalization stuff. So if I type in June, for example, and I don't capitalize it, so I say June, you see it just auto-corrected it for me to capitalize it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you misspell a word that's in the script, it will. Another cool thing is you can do, I think it's Windows H in this program, Control H. Okay, let's see here. Windows H. Should be Windows H. Not sure why that's not working. Let's take a look here. Oh, you gotta select the text, I guess. Okay, so let's add my name. That's how most people spell it. So Windows H, there we go. It's automatically going to pull this up. So anytime I type out Tom, because I spell it slightly different, I'm going to put it as THOM. Now something to, and I'm going to push OK. This file has been modified. Do you want to reload? Yes. So basically what's happening is, there we go. It just added it. Now, something to point out is if you have this as an executable, it will not work to add your own. You have to be able to have this in script form or manually enter it into your script and then compile it every time. Just because with an executable, you can't write live data to it like that. So yeah, if we go down here to the bottom, there's mine that I added. So that's pretty cool because it's so easy to add misspellings that if it's not in here, it should automatically find for you. All right, let's look at the next one. And like I said, all this will be in the description below, and you just find it on that website. There's a lot of other good ones that I probably won't get around to covering all of them. So just look and explore more than what I'm showing you here today. All right, this one is pretty cool. A lot of times when I'm especially like gaming, I want to mess around with some files. They can be hidden. So in your Explorer, let's go just to my desktop, for example. You know, here's all the folders that are on there, but what a lot of people don't know is there are files that are on my desktop, but they're hidden. It's because they don't want, you know, noobs playing around with them if they don't know what they're doing, because it can cause system or program problems. But there's a lot of times where I need to mess around with those files, move them, back them up. This is going to let me grab or see those better, but it does other few things. So here's the script. Let me see. Let me run it. Where did I put it? Here it is. All right, so for this one, the hotkeys I'm using are A, S, and D. I don't recommend doing that. That's just what I put in there for the sake of this video. Obviously, those are pretty much the only thing I think you should need to change in this script is the hotkeys. Because I don't recommend doing that, because every time you try to type and it has an A in it, it's going to trigger. So definitely change those out. I forget what the default ones were, but I didn't like them. But yeah, I just threw them in there. So yeah, let's go ahead. I believe it's running. And let's open our Explorer. So as you see, basically I got perfectly 2 rows of files here. I'm going to go ahead and press A. And now we see that we got 2 more files that were hidden. We got desktop INI file and another INI file, a time saver. I'm not sure what that one does. but whatever. So yeah, and sometimes you have to double tap for some odd reason, but you double tap, it hides them again. This is so much better than having to, right click, go to properties, go to security, find where the checkbox is, and then once I'm done, doing that all over again just to hide them again. It's kind of a pain. The other thing I like too is with the D press is it changes the extension on here to be visible or not. So by default, at least on my computer, I see this is just called test2, but if I hover my mouse over, then I can see what type of file it is. This is great for like pictures and stuff, but I can just sit there, double tap D, and now I can see that it is an AHK file without having to put my mouse over top of it. These are MP4s. That I like a lot because it just makes it so much easier to see, especially when it comes to pictures, if I'm looking for a specific format versus having to hover over every single one or go into the settings. So that one's great. I love that one. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. Alrighty, and on this one, we are calling this one mouse measure or map measurer. I forget what it's actually called on the site. Let's see if I can find that real quick. There's so many to look at. Oh yeah, it is just called mouse measure, this one right here. Okay, so we're going to be using Google Maps for this one. Real quick though, with the code, once again, there's not a lot you need to change here. You can change some of the variables here with their defaults of, how many pixels, units, inches is its default. You can change it to miles, feet, whatever. But you can manually do that also in the program once it's running. After that, really, there's just your hotkeys like control and left mouse button. Just find those for all these. Change them to whatever you want. And yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and run this one. And the nice thing is it does pop up right away with a message box. Just because there is a lot of hotkeys and instructions. Once you do it the first once or twice, it's pretty easy to remember, but it's nice to have those there. You can always just delete this whole message box if you don't want it. But yeah, so basically, let's just see it in action. We're going to use Google Maps just because it's easy. I know this Google Maps has something like this functionality built in, but this is great for other stuff if you have like an image or something. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's see if I can remember how to do this. The program is running, so we're going to go ahead and down here, I guess you can't see because my head's in the way. Down here we have our little measuring thing. So for every, I don't know, that's maybe like an inch or something, is considered 500 feet on this map. So we're going to put our mouse right over that little starting line, push Control, left click, and then you see the cool thing is it does make a little red line, and we're just going to put it at the end of that mark. So right about there. Yeah, that looks about, oh crap, messed it up. There we go. Make it straight. So that we got that, and what we're going to do is we're going to click Alt. We're going to get another little box here. So it's got the pixel range, calibration range is 1 inches. Well, we need to do right here, it's 500 feet, so we're just going to change that to feet. We're going to push submit. Let me readjust that. All right, so here's our map. It's just some random place I zoomed in on. And we're just going to look at, I don't know, say we work here at this farm. And we get off work and we want to go to the tavern. Why not? We're going to go ahead, we're going to left click, say the parking lot's like right here. And then we're just going to start drawing. There's a little bend in the road here, so we'll do that. We'll click. You just keep clicking, and it keeps doing it. Shows you every single mark of how many feet we're at, whatnot. And say the parking lot's right here. So we're going to get here, we're going to push shift, that's the end of our route. And we're going to get a message box. So it's going to show us kind of a breakdown of each part. This is half of the 100 feet. Obviously, depending on what type of unit you're going to need, check out my math video on AutoHotkey so you can automatically have this do a little bit better calculations than what it's doing here. So you can always add on to that to make it a little bit better, do some math for you. But yeah, so as you see right here, distance is 5.636 feet. Obviously, I should have, where it said 1, I should have put 500 instead. That's my mistake. But you would have put the unit as 500 feet. I did 1, so I would just figure out the math for this. But yeah, that's my mistake. Yeah, this one's really cool. I like how it has the ability to draw this red line. It shows you each point. If you're making multiple stops or you just really want to break it down, you know, especially if you're giving someone instructions. And then it just shows you the final measurement here, which that obviously should be a little bit higher than that because I accidentally put the wrong unit number in. I put 1, it should be 500. But yeah, you can just push OK. It stays there. You got that. And so yeah, I hope you guys found these useful. If this video gets, you know, like 100 likes, I'll do some more showcase videos. Once again, let me know if you guys have any that you want to share, whether they're yours or someone else's. Hit the subscribe button. Throwing out videos every single week having to do with automation, usually in AutoHotkeys. And I hope to see you all on the next one. See ya. Hello, Tab Nation! It's your boy Tom, and today you can't see me on this video. I'm having some weird issues with my camera, and it lagging my computer insanely badly for some odd reason. So there we go. Yeah. We are looking at some more showcase videos where basically I'm just going to run through the videos, showing you kind of these scripts, maybe throw out a few things that you can change to manipulate them to work a little better in your favor of how you want. But as far as the commands and what it's exactly doing, I'm not going to dive too deep into that. I have plenty of videos out there if you want to learn a specific command or function. Check those out. If not, hey, recommend it in the comments below, and hopefully I can do a video later on that specific topic. We're looking kind of at two places here. I don't know how to say his username, but like in Bernal keylogger, which is cool. And then we also got this site we're visiting one more time, I think. And so I'll have all these obviously in the description below for you guys to link to, and just find, on this one there's a huge list, so there's other ones I've never covered. Check them all out. This is probably one of the best sites that I found for AutoHotkeys. It just has a very nice, like, just easy to use list. You know, there's pictures and stuff if you jump down, so pretty self-explanatory there. Alright, let's go ahead and jump over to the code, shall we? So the first one we have is the accent, whatever. And this is helpful for, you know, people who are using other languages, you know, French, Spanish, whatever, that has these different types of characters. You definitely want to change these if you want to different languages. These are kind of just the defaults that come, as you can see here. There's a whole bunch of different ones, but there can be different things. And the way this works is you do need to save this file as, I'll link it in the description below. I did a whole video on how to do a Unicode and kind of stuff, like special characters. So you would have to save depending on what kind of characters you're using. So yeah, that's also in the description below, but you can change it to however you want. So let me find this and run it. We'll make some spaces here just because we'll use this area for typing for our demo. All right. So you just start typing, you know, Tab Nation. But if I do, so A was the first one, so we can do A, but as you see, it has a little tool tip that pops up there real quick. You can delay and extend it to be a little bit longer, but as you can see, it's now changing it as I go through. And then when I give it down for a few seconds, it stops, and there we go. There is that special character. It still works without having to do all that special stuff I just talked about, but it does make it work a little bit better for certain characters. But yeah. This one's pretty cool. This I can see being very helpful for the people out there who type in multiple languages and whatnot. Alright, let's go on to this one. Let me close that last one out. There we go. So this one, the biggest thing you're going to want to change right off the bat is the location. So this is logged. So as you see, I just have it pointed towards my desktop. And it's creating a folder automatically called logged. So we can put that right here. Let's open that up. There we go. So it's just going to create a file using the date and time. You can change that to be named however you want. But it's basically just keeping track of everything I'm doing, really. So you can, let's go in and take a look here and type some stuff out. Hello, world. How are you today? Make sure to sub videos each week. So yeah, there's that. And we'll highlight it, delete it, and let's go take a look at our logged file here, if I can find it. Oh, I don't know why I just closed it. But yeah, basically it's just keeping track of a few things too. It's, you know, you got your left mouse click, it's grabbing the coordinates of where I clicked, and then just, you know, what program is running, where was I typing. So that tab specifically was called testing2.ahk. So you can even see like what tab is being clicked in and whatnot, wheel down, wheel up, and it does a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really just grabbing tons of different information. You know, here you go. Here is hello world, but as you see, I did a backspace because I accidentally missed the O. So it's very detailed. So hell, backspace O, world, how are you today? Enter. Make sure to sub. And then you can see left mouse button where I kind of deleted it and everything. And yeah, basically it'll create a new file each day. If you want, you can manipulate it to do it more often. If you want just one single file, it's really up to you. Here's how the formatting's done when it creates the file. So you can change that too. If you don't care about the year, make it a little bit cleaner, easier to read. Yeah, and then obviously you have a ton of hotkeys here. With key events that go all the way down. This is in English. It does have some of the special characters here. If you want to do it in another language, or maybe your keyboard has some stuff that's not listed on here, you know, here it goes all the way up to, you know, it goes pretty quick, all the way up to F24. You just need to go in here and manually do that yourself, unfortunately. So this is in English, but if you're trying to do a keylogger for another language, it's probably best to edit those. Here's also all the other kind of things it can do. If you don't want it to capture all that junk with the mouse clicks, like maybe you don't really care where they're clicking or why, just highlight this and just delete this code and you're good. There's some information here on the creator and, you know, basically a disclaimer saying, hey, don't use this for evil. So yeah. So obviously this is for educational purposes and personal use. If you use it for evil, that's on you, not me. Alright, let's close that one out. So the next one we're doing, actually the next two we're going to be looking at are really just a kind of clipboard kind of thing for saving to Notepad. So the first one we got, our hotkey is going to be F1 here. Obviously you can change that to whatever you want. We got some key weights, as you see, just to avoid sticky keys. It's going to block our input. That way we don't make any type of mistakes. It's going to send Control A, which is highlights everything. And then it's going to send Control C, which copies. It's then going to do a click, and that's just going to unhighlight everything. It's just simple. This is a very simple script. If exist, basically it's looking for something called save edit.txt. It's going to delete that file, and then it's going to take the clipboard and create that file. So obviously this doesn't really exist on my desktop right now. I'm going to go ahead and run this. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the first part of this code. I'm going to push F1. Well, actually, sorry. This is for highlighting everything. So you can use this on a browser, whatever, Notepad, Word document. We're going to push F1. As you see, it really quickly highlight it. You didn't see the Control C action, obviously. And then it clicked to unhighlight it. And then it created this on my desktop. A text file. You can obviously change it if you want to like a Word file, but text file is going to be the smoothest. And so that it copied everything and stuck it right in there. So this is just a great way to create text files really quick. Now, if you want to get a little fancier with it, you can do this next script that we got here. And this one's going to be the same hotkey, F1. Obviously, change it to whatever you want. This one's actually going to back up your old clipboard to store it temporarily. It's then going to Control C. As you see, we're not doing the Control A. because this one we want to target specifically what we're highlighting. It's going to wait for the clipboard, and then it's going to, right down here, it's basically injecting it into a document called Untitled Notepad. It does have an asterisk there just because when you create it, let me get one right quick. When you create it, it does start out as Untitled Notepad, but as soon as you type something in, it adds that little asterisk there. So as you can see, I have this commented out. I'll show you that here in just a minute. So let's see, let's get that running. It's called copy adding. So here we'll highlight this line of code. We're going to push F1, and as you see, there it is. Now we're going to highlight something else. Let's highlight this line of code, F1. And as you see, it's just adding. And it's really nice. It's very helpful. So it's a great way, like if you're reading, something for school, and you just kind of want to grab the important stuff to print out or to remind you to review over, like formulas or something. It's a great way to do it. And it's just going to replace your clipboard with what was ever in there originally. So you don't lose any of that data, which is great because down here it's putting the old clipboard back into the current clipboard. Now, obviously, you can change this up a little bit just on how you want it to be in here. If you want it to break up more, just add more line breaks, whatever, you can customize it. Now, let's go ahead and uncomment all this. I'm going to save that, run it again. Yes. And what this is going to do is we're going to highlight something, push F1, and this is just going to keep opening. It's going to open new ones. Now, I've had issues with this off and on for some odd reason. I haven't figured out why yet. Oh, okay, there, it's adding to that. That's why. So let's delete that. And this just opens up new tabs and starts, but it's having weird problems. That's why I commented out. I haven't had much chance to play with it, but oh, you know why? It's because I don't have the asterisks there. So just add it to whatever it's called, and it's going to find that. Same with here. If you don't want it to automatically post into the just an untitled and you have a specific saved one, just change the name of that window right here to whatever it is. It could be like, class number 101, math formulas. Just make sure it matches here so it knows exactly which text file to post it into. It also, you can change up here to add the file directory, just because right now this is just going to look where the script currently is. If I have the text file and the script in separate folders, you are going to need to specify that. You can put it down here, or you can just add the starting directory up here. But yeah, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys all seem to really enjoy the showcase videos. Hit the subscribe button. I'm throwing out more of these, and pretty much my new thing now is if any video gets more than 50 likes, I will try my best to do a part 2 or whatever. This is one I believe is part 8 of my showcase videos, so definitely check out that playlist. I'll link that in the description below, and if I forget, just remind me because I tend to do that from time to time. Alright everybody, I will see you all on the next one.